Good afternoon. I am Lucy Ademi. Zimbabwe's public sector doctors have begun strike on Tuesday after the government failed to meet their demand to have their wages benchmarked in US dollars. Zimbabwe Hospital Doctors Association President Peter Mogombeye says they had met with the government representatives on Monday and they promised to expedite other allowances for health personnel, but he said so far it has just been empty promises. The chairperson of a migrant group in South Africa has blamed the recent xenophobic attack on migrants on scarcity of jobs or unemployment as one of the factors behind attacks in South Africa. Vusumuzi Zimbada was speaking in the wake of the looting and burning of shops, many of which are operated by African migrant communities in South Africa's biggest city, Johannesburg. The attacks have attracted criticism from other African nations. Zimbada, who heads the African Diaspora Forum set up in response to earlier xenophobic attacks, blamed some politicians for allowing resentment to build between communities. He criticized the language used by Johannesburg's mayor, Herman Mashaba, and top official Mongani Nkonge when talking about undocumented migrants.
In a city in South Africa, be 80% foreign nationals. That is dangerous. That in Hillbrow and the surrounding areas, South Africans have surrendered their own city to the foreign nationals. The nation should discuss that particular question. You won't find South Africans in other countries dominating a city into 80%. Because if we do not debate that, that necessarily means the whole South Africa could be 80% dominated by foreign nationals. And the future president of South Africa could be a foreign national.
We'll be back after this message.
Whether in your house, at your office, on your phone or online, we are there. We have the facts behind the headlines. We cut to the chase with the news you really need. We cover every angle. We are the bigger, better news network. We are African News Network. ANN. Watch ANN News on MITV from a truly African spirit.
Two senior allies of Burkina Faso's deposed former president Blaise Compaoré have been sentenced to 10 and 20 years in prison, respectively, on Monday for organizing a 2015 coup attempt against a transitional government. A military tribunal in the capital, Gadugu, found Dendere guilty of murder and threatening state security and sentenced him to 20 years in prison. Protesters, angered by Compaoré's attempt to change the constitution to extend his 27-year rule, forced him to flee the West African nation in 2014. Troops from the elite Presidential Security Regiment under the command of General Gilbert Dendere, Compaoré's right-hand man, took members of the transitional government hostage less than a month before elections. That's NN Newsbury. For details on these and other breaking stories, visit our website nnafrica.news. Conversation continues on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at NN Africa CV. I am Lucy Ademi.